So as far as our agenda, we will cover briefly the high-level highlights of access control, Rhombus system, and then we'll go into the live product demo, and we'll save the questions and answers for the end of the call. However, at any time, if you have any question, just pop them into a meeting chat, and one of us will keep track of questions, and we'll make sure we answer all of them before we wrap up the webinar. So by ways of introduction, my name is Mati Abicic, and I'm in charge of products at Genea, and I'm privileged to have Jeremy Gulley from Rhombus Systems today with me, who will be reviewing some of the Rhombus features. So quickly about Genea. So we are a access control, overtime HVAC, and sub-meter billing company with a footprint in over 20 countries in the world. We have obviously more than 1/3 of users worldwide, and we work with a wide variety of different companies, as does Rhombus, and that's why some of this synergy makes a whole lot of sense. Our products, as I mentioned, we have 3 flagship products, but today we will focus heavily on access control. And what access control to us mean, and what the biggest selling points are, or the biggest advantages of cloud-based access control, is we usually kind of focus on main advantages that we give to our customers in a marketplace. So one is being using non-proprietary hardware. So you're based on Mercury HAD hardware, which means that if you don't like Genea's software service, you are free to go to another couple dozen providers who use the same hardware. That has big implications on not having to rip and replace hardware in your enterprise. Another big important item for us as an access control system is mobile access. I think this has become very kind of front and center in the past 2 years as we've gone through the pandemic years, where having mobile access is important, not just so you don't have to touch things in the physical world, but also offers much more flexibility about how you offer credentials and access to people across the globe in a new mixed and flexible environment. What we always proud ourselves is service and support. So as opposed to having to go through multiple layers of different touch points between the various integrators and resellers, we offer a 24/7 support for all our users directly in-app for both administrators and end users. And then lastly, again, why we are here to talk today, is the video integration. So we work with a variety of different camera systems, but one of the newest ones that we've added to our platform is one of the leaders in the industry, Rhombus Systems. And in a few minutes, we'll go over just how well the 2 platforms play together. So I'll hand it over to Jeremy to go over some of the Rhombus high-level points.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. So thank you. So my name is Jeremy Gulley. I'm one of the partnerships individuals over here at Rhombus. We are, as you can see, a cloud native smarter physical security. And so we make intelligent cameras and sensors that are securely managed all from one single platform in the cloud. And so we're on a mission to make things simple, smart, and powerful in our physical security solutions. That being said, we're already deployed globally. So you can see some of our larger clients there, some of the Fortune 500 companies and organizations we work with today. And I think it just kind of lends itself to, again, back to that point of simplicity. We are a platform that is easy to utilize. And one of our key powers or abilities is connecting and integrating with, for best-in-class systems like Genea. So next slide there. Thank you. So there's a shift to the cloud going in video security. So where I come from, we're used to these on-site NVRs or DVRs. We're used to a lot of complexity, setting up these individual, what we call individual points of failure nowadays. And we found that with Rhombus, we're able to take a lot of what is traditional video security today and take a lot of this complexity and simplify. And so the Rhombus modern architecture, again, removes that single point of failure NVR. It removes a lot of the, all of the on-premise software needed It removes things like the need for a VPN or these static IPs that we're used to of the past. And so again, we're on a goal here to make a modern architecture. And so it's cloud native start to finish. I'll be next slide. Thank you. So as you can see, one of the key points of Rhombus and what makes Rhombus unique in the industry is not only our smarter cameras and sensors, but again, the integration and the ability to connect to so many other things, right? And so we have open APIs, and we have some really good native integrations, again, like we'll show you later with Genea, that are extremely, that can place us in ahead of the game in the industry. All that's accessible from any browser, and then of course mobile applications, or even an Apple TV application. So you can kind of see that anywhere you have, it's quickly and easily accessible. So again, going back to that, we can access anywhere. We have an application for Android, for iPad, Apple TV, but I think where it hits home is the browser base, because you're cloud native start to finish. Our AI and analytics are always learning. So things like facial detection and plate recognition, PPE detection, masks for COVID, color search, all these things are accessible from every one of our platforms. That all the features are there. And then again, customizable. So it's very granular. We're an enterprise grade security system to where you can really set it up and modify the solution to fit your needs. And then again, secure by default. The way Rhombus was architected in the cloud, our company was founded by cybersecurity experts, and this is not their first time in the game. So architected by default while connecting into third-party best-in-class solutions. I'll pass it back to you.
Okay. So Jeremy, do you want to cover the Rhombus platform first?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So let me share my screen here. And then, are you able to see my screen?
Yep, I can see it.
Awesome. So again, what makes Rhombus unique is the simplicity. And so being browser-based, you're able to go to rhombussystems.com, and right from Rhombus Systems, you'll just choose sign in to get into our customer console here. The console was architected with simplicity in mind, but again, granular to be able to be customized for each individual in the environment. For example, some individuals may not need facial access on their dashboard. Maybe they want to customize this to show, how much bandwidth, because they're part of the IT department. Rhombus, being the solution that it is, uses very minimal amounts of bandwidth while, having this solution together. And so you're able to see that right on a dashboard here, and it's just easily accessible and customizable. Now, where it's unique with our partnership with Genea and the Access Control is, when I get into the devices themselves, and I'm going to show you an entry camera and a Genea connection here. On the Rhombus side, it shows the camera, and once I connect, I'm live, and this is sub 1 second latency. So this is less than a second of what's actually happening live in this environment. But on the bottom, we have this idea of tick marks. And so now I've got my Genea Access Control connected in here, and I've got a tick mark every time that someone utilizes the entry of the access control. So I can click right here. Now with the Rhombus solution, not only can I tell when they are entering, but I'm able to check facial recognition, for example, and say, oh, is this the correct individual that it was supposed to be? Or is this individual, not the person? Did they hand their badge out? Likewise, if you have two individuals that are on the same badge, let's say there's tailgating or someone walks in, that facial recognition is a second point to where you're able to access and see, kind of who's coming in or what's happening, all on a single dashboard here. Likewise, jumping to, for example, an external camera, I'm able to see entry points at the inside or outside, and I can have the access control connected to both cameras at the same time. And so same badge access, I can go back here, I can click, and it's that same badge access from a different direction. So maybe I don't get the face because the individual didn't walk in direct, but you see where I grabbed it on the other side. And so I am able to get that same point of, it's an identified face. It is the person that the access control requested. And again, very quick to access, and just click back and see all this in my browser. Likewise, I'm able to do this with the mobile application as well. I've got all these features, and similar, I can just click around, and it's just as quick to make that connection. So what makes it even better is that the connection between Genea and Rhombus is pretty straightforward as far as the setup goes. And so what I'll show you is, in the actual settings of the client environment here, you just click into third-party integrations, and then you're able to choose now Genea and pop right in here to see, okay, To make that connection, you're generating an API token, which we'll show you later on the Genea side. But once generated, you can paste it in here and submit. And then it goes right to the screen where once connected, you have only 4 options. So you very simply say, create an alert every time a face does not match the badge used for entry. Likewise, you can create an event marker. Those are those tick marks I talked to you about. Then you can learn the faces by associating a detected badge with an entry event. So for example, the first time Jeremy walks in and uses the Jeremy badge, now it knows it's Jeremy because it's putting that face with that name. And so it's going to continue to remember that and learn over time. And then lastly, creating a 10-second clip. So every time that someone walks in, I can have a clip go up to my alert center and it can wait for me. These stay in there for 90 days. That's just all included as part of the Rhombus platform. So you can go through and action those alerts within 90 days. Slaving to the cameras is even easier. It shows which connection is there. And so you're able to choose just by dropping down, and you can choose all cameras that it's going to be connected to. And quite simply, you are then creating your tick marks and your events. So pretty straightforward. I think that covers it at a high level. I'll pass it back over to you.
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, so now let's look at what does it look like kind of from the other side of the fence, from the Genea side and the access control platform. So what I have on my screen is Genea Access Control. We are looking at what we call global dashboard. So in this particular demo case, I have 4 of my global locations where I have quick overview of the activity, hardware status. I can see alarms across my entire enterprise, and I can action the alarms. I have a quick sort of a remote control for my enterprise where any of the doors in my global portfolio, I can quickly lock, unlock, and have access again remotely to controllers and hardware across my enterprise. One of the recent additions is what we call emergency plans. We can create a emergency plan that is tailored to a particular situation. So for example, a fire drill may have a different set of triggers than a full lockdown of a facility. All of that is available remotely. We'll get into user management at a location level quickly. I wanted to go over a badge printing as well. So the Genea, what you also get is a way to print out physical badges for your employees. And this works with any networked printer connected to your device that you're currently using. So in other words, if you can get the dimensions right, this works on your inkjet printer. We made it super simple. One of the main kind of components, or one of the main features of the access control platform, is the simplicity. And we are very deliberate when we design new features or when we update existing ones, is that it needs to work for everybody with minimal training. So any tech-savvy user should be able to almost intuitively use the system with virtually no input. It's only with the nitty-gritty details where we offer help, and we do that with our 24/7 support, again, built straight into the web app and straight into the mobile app. So what Jeremy was talking about, adding the API key into the Rhombus platform. So from the Genea side, this is where you would generate one of those API keys. So what you can do as a system administrator is create a key, almost like a computer password that computers use to communicate to one another. And you can decide with this API key, what does this third-party system, in our case, Rhombus, what does it have access to? So I can define exactly which events will be or will not be passed over to Rhombus. And that's something also that we can guide the customers about what is the preferred way of setting up that integration. What I will do here is I will get into one of the actual locations. So when I drill into, let's say, our fictional company, Riddle Communications in Los Angeles, I can see a quick dashboard about attendance. I can see who is on site, heat map with user arrivals. And this gives me an easy way to, again, manage users from one single place globally. What I can do here is I can quickly and easily either create a new user, or if I need to assign a new credential to existing user, I can do that from one single place for any location that this user needs to have, as well as temporary access, badges. For example, to create a mobile key, what we've done is we've integrated with the HID Origo portal. We integrated also with our friends at Wavelinks and STID from France. So the easy way to create a mobile key is you just select that it needs to be mobile. So no need to log into a third-party portal, create a key, copy invite code. All this happens automatically. So if I assign a badge type to Aaron, Aaron will receive an email with an invitation to redeem the mobile key. So again, it's the whole fundamental guiding principle is the simplicity, and we carry that throughout all of the remainder of the platform. Now, when we speak about integrations, you'll see that there is a whole host of them. Some of the most important ones are directory services integrations. That allows automated user provisioning, so automated management. When you hire new people, you set up rules so they automatically get access to their parking lot and the base building and the office space and even the areas in the building where they need to have access. Now, all that is usually done by system administrators, and they're used to having this sort of a interface where you create rules, and for any change in user from the upstream system, that being Microsoft Azure AD or on-premise AD or Okta, it says for any change in user, I'm going to run through the rules that I've defined here, and I'm going to inspect what do I need to do. Certain users need to be granted administrator roles or be given mobile key or need to be put in certain locations, and all that happens automatically as well. More importantly, deprovisioning. So as soon as you have an employee who leaves the organization, you don't have a situation where their credentials are just active in access control system forever. When we speak to our customers, the security professionals always say, I only get yelled at if somebody can't get through the door. Nobody ever tells me when people leave the organization. So we have plenty of examples where a building with a capacity for 2,000 people actually has about 20,000 people in their database with credentials that are still active. To go back to the list of integrations, what we're here to talk about today is obviously the Rhombus integration. So in the list of other camera integrations, we wanted to make the setup super easy, just like what you saw on Jeremy's side. What we wanted to make sure that it's easy to do is once you plug in the API token, so this would be an API token generated on the Rhombus side, now you can start configuring how do cameras and doors work together. So to do that, it's actually super simple. If I wanted to map a camera to a door, and by the way, you can have multiple doors mapped to a single camera or multiple cameras pointing at a single door. So all of those kind of convoluted scenarios are captured. So if I wanted to add a camera to another door, I can just quickly hit save, and that will be added to the list. If I wanted to get a live video feed from the camera to make sure I've captured the actual right camera for the right door, I can quickly preview that, and I'm off and running. So it's that simple and easy to set up the integration between the two systems once you have both Rhombus and Genea. So there's no third-party integration work needed and a project that needs to be spun up. It's this simple, and there's no extra charge for having this integration. So the next question is, how do we use that in practice from an actual access control standpoint? What is the value? The value is that it allows system administrators and security professionals to verify certain events that happen in the organization by pulling up the camera feed. So what we have here actually is, if I wanted to find out, let me filter this down to know, I'm obviously looking for an example that I know is at a very specific point in time, I want to get some good footage. I have, in this case, example of Noah Avalos is our operations head of operations in our Irvine office. I've heard that something happened on Friday at around noon, right after lunch. I can see his badge event on the stream, and I can pull up the video footage right from the access control platform. What you'll notice is that the interface looks very, very similar, in fact, identical to what Jeremy was showing you. And that is for a reason. So working with the Rhombus team was incredibly easy, and we were able to take the Rhombus player and embed it right into our platform. So why is that important? That means all of those cool features that Jeremy showed you with the face recognition, with the movement, with unrecognized faces, the badges are not matching the faces that are recognized. All that comes built right into this pop-up video feed, you get the full power of the VMS system built into the access control system. So the synergy is really great. So you can see the badge badge events, human events, unsaved faces. And again, if I wanted to find another instance where Noah was at the door, by using the Rhombus player, I can find it right there in the timeline, and I can navigate to that event. In addition to that, obviously, I can swipe left and right. This is a Saturday, so there was a pretty slow day in office. I can go back a day and I can see all of the events that were happening. Again, it's a fully featured video management system in a mini player on a platform. So that is really what we wanted to cover today from my side, at least. How do we bridge access control into video management system, and then also back? How do we get those features kind of built in for a quick view in access control platform? So I'll stop sharing here, and I see that we have some questions. I'm not sure, Jeremy, if you had a chance to read them yet, if you want to tackle it.
Yeah, we've got a couple here. So let me answer a couple from the Rhombus side. So regarding analytic events, yeah, we do have quite a few other analytic or event options that you can trigger and find within the Rhombus console. So, we're always happy to, head over to Rhombus Systems. We're happy to give a full demonstration on what types of events. You can choose by, a certain area or region. There are human movement, vehicle movement, and we have this ability to get very granular. But, focusing on the integration today was the intent. But again, always happy to go over that type of stuff. And then I think another question was possibly for both of us on the Rhombus and Genea side regarding hosting. So we are hosted on AWS. We are hosted on AWS Cloud and on multiple servers globally. So we are region as needed. Let's see. Great question. So the Rhombus go-to-market method, we do not sell direct on the Rhombus side. We only sell through channel partners and work with security professionals to sell on our side. So
I can answer from Genea's side. I'll go back to the previous one. Yes, we too are on AWS. Right now, we do not have the capability for a private cloud. What that would mean is that you're physically isolated from all other customers. That's something that we are considering, but we don't have timeline for that. So we have a couple of regions in United States on AWS, and then for the go-to-market method, same as Jeremy. So we're working with integrators, and for any questions regarding pricing, I would direct that to our sales team. They'll be more than happy to answer any other questions. And then I see a few more questions in the same integrators of both. So I think, Jeremy, that you have the same case. We work with a variety of integrators. And at least from our side, even for you as a customer, if you have a trusted integrator that you work with and that you love, you're more than happy to work with that integrator as well. So although we can provide our preferences and suggestions, we are not exclusively tied to one particular integrator or group of them. And I think that's the same case for Rhombus.
That is. I was just going to say, so on the Rhombus Systems webpage, there is a whole section called Partners. And if you jump into that, that will give you guidance and more information there. But absolutely, yeah, we work with all sorts. Yeah. And there were a few in the chat as well, it looks like. And I think this is the Rhombus side, so I'll take this one. Can you do license plate search? Yes, Rhombus has the ability to do license plate search. And we also have the idea of tags. And so again, while we can get deeper into this and go through a full demo, the idea is that license plates are searchable just by the plate itself. You also have the ability to tag them and say, this is a stolen vehicle tag, and then set up granular alerts. Where I like to keep it high level is Rhombus is an enterprise grade solution, and we have quite a bit of ability and flexibility to kind of customize it based on the need. And then the other one was also color search. Yes, color search, absolutely. Same thing. You're able to color search, whether it be clothing or vehicle, things of that nature. Is there any? There's
a door left open. Can you detect door left open? So that I'm not sure that's a video question or access control. From access control perspective, yes, with appropriate sensors, you can detect when the door hasn't been closed, and you can raise that as an alarm. And obviously, also you can see when the door is just simply unlocked when it's closed, but not locked. So that's all possible, and we would just need to understand the hardware situation that you have on a door. And then, Jeremy, from your perspective, I'm not sure if that's.
Yeah, we have sensors. So one of our sensors is a door sensor, and so absolutely, there's a couple of ways I think to satisfy that need. But yeah, we absolutely have that ability, and we have sensors that Rhombus makes as well.
And I see another one from Annie is that customizable for each site individually? So I'm not entirely sure where in the conversation that question came up, but I'll make some assumptions. So if you're talking about can you customize mapping of the cameras to access control site by site individually? Yes, absolutely, as well as the say setup of users. So Annie, if you don't mind elaborating a little more what it was, generally I would say everything is customizable site by site. But before I made that broad statement, I'm not sure what exactly was the question.
Yeah, and again, running on that assumption, I will say on the Rhombus side as well. So if you have an organization that is spread across the globe, you're able to connect the access control site by site and individual camera by camera. And again, it goes back to that granularity, and you have all that ability within the console.
Yeah, okay, we got a few more. Would you get an alert if a camera or any access control goes down in location? Yes, that's a.
Yeah, I was going to say from the Rhombus side as well. Absolutely. If there's a down camera, you get an alert right away.
It's for turn. Oh, so Annie says for turning on the integration between Rhombus and Genea. Yes, yeah. So absolutely. So side by side, you can customize and mix and match different technologies. So in full transparency, Rhombus works with a variety of our competitors, and we work with a variety of Rhombus's competitors. So what you may have is setup of different camera systems on different sites. We can work with that and ask in Rhombus from their side. That usually enables kind of an easier stage transition to a consolidated system. From both of our sides, we pride ourselves in having a great product, and if that is what it takes, that you go site by site and transition slowly over time, or leave your hardware in place, that is perfectly okay with us. Again, we are both product companies, and we made sure that we can work with a variety of different providers. Okay, so we have a few more questions.
So it looks like considering using LPR as a credential to fire a gate or door with Genea. From our side right now today, we identify license plate, we recognize license plate, and then we can database search for them, find those events in the timeline. It's possible this might be a use case for an API, and that's why we have the ability and very open APIs. I think that's what, from our side, it very much differentiates us in the marketplace to have these open APIs, because when we get to an enterprise scenario, as there's a lot of different things we're trying to solve for and a lot of different solutions out there. And so while today that is not the case, it's all available and connectable.
Yeah. And that brings me to say, this is not a one and done kind of thing where we work together. This is the beginning. We already have scope identified for the next stages of the integration. License plate recognition is definitely something that is always interesting, that will always kind of depend on a particular use case and the geometry of the space itself, where it will work well and where it won't. So just by the nature of both of us having fully open APIs, it's something that I'm sure we'll tackle pretty soon in the future.
Absolutely. And the next one is regarding two-factor authentication. Absolutely, we are enterprise grade security, so we have full ability for two-factor authentication via SMS or OTP as well. So yeah, you can utilize an application as well. Yeah. And
same thing on the Genea side. So we are fully SOC 2 Type 2 compliant, and this is, in fact, is one of the requirements that you need to be able to provide that level of security to the users. Okay, so we have a couple more in, one more from Dave. So are your cameras captive to Rhombus, or can I use other cameras that are more specific to the application? Approved camera list.
Good question. Yeah, so on the Rhombus side, it's very important. We pride ourselves on the experience. We pride ourselves on sub 1 second latency. We pride ourselves on low to no bandwidth usage from these cameras. In order to do that, we do not support OnVIF, if that's what you're alluding to, or and we do not allow other cameras to be attached into the environment. So again, we have discussed this. It has been in topics of conversation, but I think we take a similar approach to, it is not a full rip and replace. We understand that these rollouts do take time. And so with that said, we try and keep things as simple with the browser connection as possible, and experience to us is everything. And so when you are able to see a full Rhombus environment and utilize it, that's what really is the game changer from our platform side. Cool. Well, great. I think from our side, yeah, if you guys have anything, we're always available. If you go to rhombussystems.com from our side and you take a look at the website, that would be, if you have additional questions through this, that would be the direction I would kind of point you, and we're happy to do it from our side as well.
Yeah. Same thing for Genea. One more question. Do you have multi-lens sensor cameras?
Good question. Not today. No, we do not. Again, another big topic of discussion.
Okay, so we'll wait a minute or two for more questions. Oh, there we go. No, actually, I think we covered all of them. So one last thing that we also wanted to put up on the screen is the upcoming ISC West show in Las Vegas. So both Genea and Rhombus Systems will have a big presence, and come and find us and talk to us. We'll be more than happy to show you live on an actual system where you can tinker and play with the integration, and obviously the rest of the platforms from both Genea and Rhombus side. So come and find us, and at any time, if there are any follow-up questions, especially for those who will be watching the recording of the webinar, please feel free to reach out to us directly or to the rest of our team. We'll be more than happy to answer all the questions.
Absolutely. So, from our side as well, I think we're excited about the partnership, and it's going to continue to grow. So yeah. Cool.
Okay, so last one from Dave. I think this is for you, Jeremy. Okay, I'm sure you'll follow up there.
Happy to do it. Thanks, Dave.
Okay, well, I think we can wrap it up here. Again, thank you all. Thank you so much, Jeremy, and to the entire Rhombus team. We are thrilled to be able to present this integration on our platform, and look forward to working further with you guys.
Yeah, us as well. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you all. Bye.